Welcome to the session on investment facilitation in tourism presented by Sri Lanka Tourism. The session will be facilitated by Dr. Prasad Jayasuriya, the Director of Tourism Planning, Development and Investor Relations of the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority, the SLTDA, and Mrs. Bhagya Mahavidhanage, Assistant Director, Investor Relations Unit of the SLTDA. Over to the two of you.
Invest in blue oceans, coastal waters and blue skies. Invest in clean energy, adventure, momentum, and exciting opportunity. Invest in history, culture, and tradition. Invest in ancient healing heritage. Invest in the most exciting wildlife safari destinations, the world's most exclusive tea and cuisine. Invest in sustainable luxury. Invest in tropical architecture. Invest in mastery, world-class hospitality education, artistry. Invest in determination, untapped potential. Invest in ambition, passion, vision. Invest in boundless ingenuity. Invest in innovation. Invest in tomorrow. Invest in Tourism Sri Lanka.
Hi, everyone. Very good afternoon and good evening for everyone joining us from different parts of the world. Marco Polo, the Italian explorer in the 13th century, said that for an island of its size, Sri Lanka cannot be compared with any other country in terms of its potential. In 1890, when the great Russian playwright Anton Chekhov, when he visited Sri Lanka, he made a very strong statement. He said, "I have found the place where the paradise is located." At that time, the leisure travel was not very common, and for someone like Anton Chekhov, who was considered as a person who has traveled to different parts of the globe, it was a very strong statement in terms of a small island like Sri Lanka. In fact, Sri Lanka has more UNESCO World Heritage Sites than Egypt. Yala Sanctuary, which is in the southern part of Sri Lanka, is the place where you will find the highest density of leopards in the whole world. The Angampura, which is a kind of a martial art system, is argued as the world's oldest system, and in a place called Mihintale in the north central province, still we can find ruins of what is believed as the first hospital in the world. Sri Lanka is known for products that are well known throughout the world. The Yuri Gagarin, his favorite beverage was Ceylon tea. Richard Brandeis fell in love with our product ginger beer. So Sri Lanka has always been a place talked about by many from the past even up to date. It's blessed with a lot of natural resources, beautiful white sand beaches, lot of waterfalls, hill country, and also plantations. All in all, we have abundance of natural resources, historical artifacts, rich culture, ancient cities, and to go with that, our branding identity, the warmth of the people or the hospitality. So all these put together, I think we have got the right ingredients that can really promote one of the best tourism experiences and products. So the whole objective of today's session is to invite you, the potential investors, to be a partner in our forward journey. I think historically, the tourism industry started growing as a leisure industry after the World War II and also after the first commercial flights was introduced in 1958. And over the last 60 years, it has tremendously grown in terms of numbers and facilities. And unfortunately, if you look at Sri Lanka, out of these 60 years, the last 40 years, we had a lot of challenges. We were engaged in a war, and then we had the tsunami in between, the Easter Sunday attacks, and the current pandemic that the whole tourism industry globally is experiencing. But Sri Lanka tourism, what we have felt is that the industry has been resilient right throughout. We have stayed strong and held on to the industry, and this is the right time for us to project this country to its full potential, the potential Marco Polo spoke about in the 13th century. So I think we are ready to do that. We invite you people, the potential investors, to be partners in this journey. We are looking for investors who will think out of the conventional boundaries. Investors who are innovative and creative. Investors who will look at the quality management practices in the industry, who are knowledgeable about the global standards. And people who will respect the environment, who will look at giving leadership to clean, green, and responsible tourism. So I am sure you are there with us, and if you can partner us, we are ready to go through this pandemic period, and once we move out to the post-COVID era, I'm sure we are ready to take off as far as the tourism in this country is concerned. So who are we? We are Sri Lanka Tourism, the national tourism organization responsible of tourism in the country. We were given a mandate by a parliamentary act, to be precise, Act number 38 of 2005, where our role is going to be the planning, development, and regulating the tourism industry. So as a part of that, we are looking at the quality assurances of the existing tourism products, as well as we will focus on developing new experiences and products by looking at the current as well as the future trends in the tourism industry. We will look at how best we can bring in sustainable practices, quality assurances, as well as the regulatory requirements are met in all these new products that we will be developed. And in this whole exercise, we have realized that investor is an important part. So Sri Lanka Tourism has come out with Investor Relations Unit, which was formed way back in 2010. And we have a dedicated, committed, and a professional group of officials who will help the investors right throughout their journey from the submission of an application until we see through the end product is ready for commercial operations. So we will make sure your experience in the investment process is hassle-free and you have one of the best experiences, and we will be a friend who will guide you throughout the process, providing the necessary facilitation with all the other line agencies that you need to work through. So I think when you're talking about Investor Relations Unit, there is no better person than to talk about it than our Assistant Director, Bhagya Mahavitanage. She is with us today. So Bhagya, why don't you take us through the process and the facilities that we can provide to the investors in their whole process.
Thank you, Dr. Jayasuriya. It's a pleasure to be part of this investment forum. And representing the Investor Relations Unit. I will take you through the entire facilitation mechanism that we have specially worked out for tourism potential investors. So this unit, the IRU, was established about 10 years ago, but with recent improvements, we are very much ready to guide you and take you through all the relevant approvals, to guide you with value additions, to how to comply with the required standards and also sustainability concepts, and to make it a fully fledged or successful investment to the tourism Sri Lanka. So what our role is to be the single point of contact for all tourism investments. Here I would like to say that we are working in hand with BOI. When it comes to a tourism project, we always take it up first. Even if the project is referred to BOI, the colleagues at BOI will refer you to us. So we will take you through the entire process right from there. We will guide you and we will provide you with accurate information and the relevant information as well as the guidance you need to make your project a success. And what we first do is that we meet you, we arrange a one-to-one meeting with the investor, and then we have an initial discussion on what the idea you have in your mind, the dream projects that you have in your mind, and then we explain the requirement of the country and we try to have a good merge of the supply and the demand. So this is what we really do. And also the IRU play the role of the approving agency as well, because we are an approving agency together with many other agencies. So we will, after obtaining all the approvals from relevant agencies, we will approve the tourism projects and let it implement in the tourism Sri Lanka. So I already told you that we have started this mechanism about 10 years ago. Since then, this is the progress, all the performance that we have managed to excel. Actually, even during challenging situations like the Easter Sunday attack in 2019 and also the global pandemic, we have managed to maintain the same momentum of increased investments to the industry. This graph, I think, provides the evidence for that. By now we have facilitated nearly 900 tourism projects with a total of about $7 billion millions in value. So these pictures show what projects we have handled. So we have experience in handling mega projects, strategic development projects which came to Colombo, and all the boutique facilities. Not only that, we were able to attend to very challenging projects with innovative ideas. Especially I would like to mention about the floating cabanas. In this picture you can see that. So it was a challenging project for us, but our professional team, we were very happy to assist with this project and make it a reality. Today, it's going to be one of the most sustainable product which is given to the tourism ecosystem in this country. And also you can see the underwater developments, yachts, adventure sports like bungee jumping, zip liners, cable cars. So all these projects we are handling, we have the capacity to handle those products. So these are some of the international brands we managed to bring to Sri Lanka tourism. In order to do this task, the facilitation, we have built up a very close collaboration with 43 government agencies. This image shows a few of them, but there are 42 altogether, 43 altogether. What we really do here is that we have managed to build contact points in each of these agencies. So we often have interactions, and we arrange get-togethers so that we have a very friendly and healthy relationship with all these agencies, so that with that it's easy for us to handle projects. When there's a special situation or a challenging situation, our colleagues from other agencies always help us with a better understanding. So also we have managed to sign MOUs, Memorandum of Understandings, with some of the key agencies, and we are in the process of doing the same with the rest of the key agencies. So with that, we agree on specific timelines for approvals. So this is, I think, any investor who comes to the country would like to know how much time will the approval process take. To answer that question, we are in the process of getting specific time frames, and also we are working with we started communicating, and we are building relationships with the utility service providers like electricity board, water board, and then local authorities in terms of waste management arrangements. So we are very much confident of facilitating you with this collaborative mechanism. We can't say that this is 100% perfect. There are challenging situations, like especially when it goes to regional offices. We have sometimes we may be, we come across certain situations, but still through our relationships and healthy collaboration, we manage to get the projects in place. And then also when there's a situation where the agencies can't handle, if there are a policy issue or a high level problem that we can't handle at the agency level, we always have the ministerial intervention. And also after ensuring the sustainability of the project, we even go up to the cabinet level to help with the project. So this is the mechanism we have built up. So currently it's a manual process, but we have started making it online mechanism. So this case management system will be ready in 5 to 6 months, and then it will be the investor will get the opportunity to submit the application online, and it will be automatically referred to all the relevant agencies, and the investor can track the application status. So this system will come up soon. We have already started. We are working on that right now. However, we don't believe that having a 100% digitalized mechanism will help handling or supporting the tourism projects. We always believe that there should be a human touch in this mechanism, because when it comes to tourism project, there are so many innovative ideas coming in, there are so many experiences involved. To understand this, an automated mechanism may not be able to understand the sensitivity behind that. So that's why we as a team, the investor relations unit, always be with the investor. We have several discussions, we go to the site, and we have meetings, one-to-one meetings, and we, in case if it's necessary, we arrange special meetings with other agencies. We have the scoping committee meeting, and that's how we give a human touch to our mechanism, so that we are receiving so many comments, positive comments, happy comments, reactions from our investors. We are so happy about it. So this is the biggest satisfaction that we enjoy as a team. As a result of this collaboration, we managed to compile a master document, a common application form. Say if a project has to go through 20 approvals from 20 different agencies, with this document, the investor need not to complete 20 different applications, but he has the convenience of filling one single application. So this common application will be referred to all the agencies, and they will accept it and do the necessary arrangements. So this is a very big achievement that we have done. I mean, we worked hard to bring that this document in place, and also to assist with that, we created a investor handbook with all the information which are required for the investor to complete this application, and also to have a very clear and comprehensive idea about how this whole mechanism works. And also this document has a checklist with all the documents required for the entire approval process, which is very clear. I think earlier the investors were confused about what type of documents to be ready with when they come to invest in Sri Lanka, but now they have the convenience of referring to this checklist and get to know what type of documents are needed for the project, so that in advance they can be prepared with their technical teams and be ready with these documents. So this is the process that we follow. There are about 4 steps in the whole approval mechanism. The pre-application meeting, that is happening prior to the submission of the project officially to IRU. As I explained earlier, we always arrange a one-to-one meeting to have a better understanding about your concept, and to make you understand from our end what process and what are the guidelines, criteria, or the sensitivities that you will have to go through, and if there is a gap, we can minimize it during this whole mechanism. So, and then the official application can be submitted to us. So this whole thing, like the application submission, the pre-application meeting, the submission of the project to us, then arranging a joint site inspection together with all the agencies, and then a scoping committee meeting where all the decision-making officials will sit and guide you and do the evaluation of your project. So this whole mechanism will take 25 working days. So after these 25 working days, you will receive a preliminary clearance, which is a green light to go ahead with the rest of the approval mechanism, especially the environmental process, the preparation of architectural drawings, and other technical aspects. And it's given with all the written instructions. So we make you clear about what the process ahead of you. And then the pre-development permit process, which means in between the preliminary clearance and the development permit, there are different approvals taking place, especially the environmental approval. So it takes 30 to 120 days. It's a big range. It's a range. You may think that we are uncertain about the days. No. Why we have given this range is that when we take the projects, there are small projects, small scale projects with less sensitivity. So it will be the process will be very short. It will take only 30 days to proceed with an environmental recommendation. But if it's a large scale project or if it's located in a very sensitive area, then you have to go through an environmental assessment. That will take a little bit of time. It all depends on the type and the scale and the location of your project. So we will guide you. During the pre-application meeting, we generally give a tentative time frame for your project, for individually, I mean specific to your project. So this is why we have put this. And then the development permit will be issued by either Urban Development Authority or the local authority. It will take about 14 days. Then after that, SLTDA or the Sri Lanka Tourism will issue the final approval which will take only 5 working days. So this is the mechanism that we have given, prepared for you with time frames. So these pictures show the effort, the joint effort that we take in terms of facilitation. So this involves site inspections, scoping committee meetings, monitoring visits to sites. So these pictures show the effort that we make. So we as a team, we are happy to go through and take the maximum effort to help you with your project. This is a key focus of Sri Lanka tourism right now, the sustainability. So we all come across a lot of challenges and negative impacts of climate change. And also due to human activities also we come across a lot of negative impacts and incidents or disasters that we recently hear. So in order to minimize these negative impacts to the environment as well as to the society, total well-being of the ecosystem of Sri Lanka tourism, we pay high attention to the sustainability of the tourism projects, the upcoming developments. So we all as a team, we expect your collaboration, your support, your cooperation to make this a success. So we have signed, we are an accredited body by the Global Sustainable Tourism Council. We have our own certification scheme, National Sustainable Tourism Certification, NSTC, and also we have the destination certification also, we have started that. So with that, the total sustainability aspects will be looked after. This is not only the environmental sustainability but also the social sustainability, as I mentioned you. Because as a country we have a lot of sensitivities, like it's an island nation first of all, and also we have 8 UNESCO declared heritage sites, and about 25 to 30% of our land is declared as forest conserves, and also there are so many Ramsar sites. There are 6 Ramsar sites in Sri Lanka. So these are the very reason why Sri Lanka has become one of the most sought after destinations, tourism destinations in the world. So it's the responsibility of all of us, all the stakeholders of the industry to conserve the very reason of this excellence that we have performed as a tourism destination. So your kind collaboration or the cooperation is expected to bear with us the time taken for environmental assessments, right? I mean, within this whole entire process, which takes a little bit of more time. So to support that, we have compiled a design guideline which will give you the green building concepts, the guidelines, and also how to incorporate green building guidelines while complying with the essential criteria. So this is available in the website together with other documents. So infrastructure, I think in other sessions also you got a lot of information about the infrastructure. In terms of infrastructure development, after the civil war, Sri Lanka developed a lot in terms of infrastructure. So your projects can benefit out of the infrastructure which is available. And then the innovative and skilled labor force that we have, our hotel school chain, give very skilled, I mean, highly skilled labor force for the hospitality, and also the universities as well as vocational training institutes in Sri Lanka do a lot of trainings to enhance the knowledge as well as the skills required for investments. So we encourage you to make use of this opportunity, get the labor force from Sri Lanka. And when it comes to lands, there are different lands, different types of lands available for projects. There are private lands. So when it comes to a private land, it's 49% to 51% shareholding for investments. And then Sri Lanka tourism, SLTDA owned lands are there. So Dr. Jayasuriya will enlighten you with what process you can follow for this. And also state lands belong to other agencies, other government agencies. And also there are state lands that belong to the central government that comes under the divisional secretariats. So with all these land identification and getting the acquisitions, we as a team, we can support you. And there are some tips to remember. We always request you to check the ownership of the lands with a professional, I mean with a low qualified lawyer or law firm. And also you have to check the developability of that land as well as the use, land use of that particular land. So in terms of government incentives, there are different types of projects. There are small scale projects which has the total investment of less than $50 million, and there are large scale projects with more than $50 million, and there are strategic development projects. So I think you can just go through. I think in previous sessions also by BOI, they elaborated all these incentives. So we are ready to give you more information if needed together with BOI. Actually, BOI arrange all these incentives. So when it comes to incentives, we always connect you with the BOI officials. So there are non-financial incentives as well, the visa recommendations for the investors, the staff, as well as liquor recommendations for financial benefits, and also investment facilitation itself is an incentives. So with that, I would like to invite Dr. Jayasuriya to enlighten you with the mechanism how SLTDA has arranged the SLTDA owned lands as integrated investment projects.
Thank you, Bhagya. I think Sri Lanka tourism, as per our mandate, we are there to plan, develop and regulate the tourism industry. So one key area that our responsibility lies is in the tourism planning and development. So what we have done is we are in the process of developing mega scale resorts under different themes. The whole idea of this is to do the tourism planning in a systematic and a sustainable manner. So if you look at the past, as I said, we had certain challenges in the last 40 years, but with all that, Sri Lanka tourism has given the leadership for already developed 3 mega scale resort projects, which is the National Holiday Resort in Bentota, Pasikuda Beach Resort and the Yala Wild Resort. You can see those places of these resorts in the Sri Lankan map. And currently we are in the process of developing 3 more mega scale resorts. One is in the Kuchaveli Beach Resort, again it's a beach resort, and then in the North Central Province we are working on developing an island resort called the Kalpiti Island Resort, and then in an inland area closer to the National Holiday Resort in Bentota, we are working on developing a large scale lake resort. So these are the 3 projects currently in the process of development, and just for anyone who is interested in what are the future projects that are lined up, we we are already identified lands in the northern province to develop 2 more resorts, one in Mana and the other one in an island called Delft, which is about 45 minutes by boat from the Jaffna Peninsula. So what I will do is I will give you a little bit of detailed information about the 3 resorts which are under development, because that is where we have immediate opportunities for any investor who is interested in any land which is owned by Sri Lanka Tourism. I will start from the Kuchaveli Beach Resort. It's a resort with an extent of 510 acres. We are targeting an investment of US dollars 150 million, and we are looking at generating direct and indirect employments closer to 14,000. If you look at this particular area, Kuchaveli is in the northeast coastal line, maybe about 32 kilometers to the north of the Trincomalee town, which is situated about 265 kilometers from the capital city of Colombo. And if you look at the Kuchaveli town, it's a remote area, but the most important thing in this particular area is that it's got a beach which is having white color sand beach, and the seawater is giving a beautiful view which ranges from blue to green. And on top of that, this is a unique place where we regularly experience a herd of elephants walking across our resort area, which is about anything between 30 to 40 elephants quite regularly walk through the resort area, which is a unique experience, especially given that you are in a coastal line. And the third key factor for any investor to consider is that this is an area which has readily available infrastructure as well as utility services. So the growth can be much faster, and which can probably give better benefits to the investor as well as to the surrounding community. If you look at the current status, as you can see from that small map, we have also shown where is the location in the Sri Lankan map and also the location map. What we have shown in red color is already leased out property which is already in operation. And then what we have highlighted in yellow color is the properties that have been already processed and the investors have been selected. So what is available right now is what is highlighted in green color. So currently, when we leave out the already leased out properties and the selected investors and the common areas, we are still left with about 340 odd acres to be leased out. So we are very keen in attracting investors to this. The beauty of this is one side you have the white sand beach, and on the other side you have the road. So this is actually located between the beach and the main road, and that green color patch what you see outside is situated on the other side of the road, and that is the path of the herd of elephants that I was talking about. If you look at the attractions, there are many attractions around the Kuchaveli area, starting from Fort Frederick to the Koneswaram Kovil, to the hot water springs, to the Neelaveli beach, the Pigeon Island. So for a leisure visitor, while staying in a beach resort, there are so many important places that you can visit leisurely while you spend a couple of weeks in a leisure resort. And the beauty of Trincomalee or the Kuchaveli is a year-round location. So you don't have seasons, you can always book a journey, book a holiday and go there. What I have shown on the left side is the hotel which is already in operation. It's a high-end resort which is already in operation, which we have shown in red color in that map. And on the right side, what you see is the existing environment in the Kuchaveli Beach Resort. You can very clearly see it's a white sand beach with a beautiful seawater ranging from green to yellow color. So it's a very scenic view for the eyes of a tourist who wants to spend leisurely his vacation. This will be the ideal location because it's not crowded like many other beach resorts in the southern region. So it's an ideal location for any new investor who is looking for white sand beaches. Next, we will look at the Kalpitia Island Resort. The whole idea of Kalpitia Island Resort is to develop a product which is closer to what we experience in Maldives. We do have 12 islands with the ownership to Sri Lanka Tourism, and we want to develop that as an island resort in a sustainable manner by preserving the unique lagoon, because these particular islands are unique because they are bordering the lagoon as well as the sea, and we want to preserve the unique lagoon features, the marine life and the related ecosystems that you experience in such a unique location. If you look at Kalpitia, it's one of the best places for kite surfing. On top of that, there are other activities like whale watching, dolphin watching, which you can perform during the year. In addition to that, this is a location that can provide access to one of the most important wildlife parks, which is known as Vilpattu. Now, generally, Vilpattu journey can be made by road also, but here the beauty is you can take a boat ride from Kalpitia Resort in only 45 minutes and go and experience the wildlife by visiting the relevant park. So, these are the attractions that are available in and around Kalpitia. Also, Kalpitia, which is in the North Central Province, about 140 kilometers from Colombo, is one of the oldest kingdoms in Sri Lanka. The Yapahua kingdom is situated in this particular province. And as you can see, there is a coral life, the related coral reef is there, then the associated lagoon associated eco-life is already there. So it's a unique location where we are working with the investors in order to make sure that we have a product which is closer to Maldives, where we can give the experience of a structure which is built on water. Out of the 12 islands, I think currently we have only 2 islands available for investors, meaning which we have already identified the selected investors for 10 islands. The 2 islands are currently available, Battalangunduwa, which is a large island of about 290 acres, which is an island situated in the sea, and then we have the other island which is also about 215 acres, Eramathiu, but this is mostly in the lagoon. So any investor interested in an island in a lagoon, we have an option, and also an island in the sea, still we have an option, which is shown in the green color in this particular map. So this is Kalpitia. What you see is the existing island environment and some of the activities. And thirdly, we are looking at the Dedduwa Lake Resort. Dedduwa is situated about 7 kilometers to the east of our national holiday resort in Bentota. Bentota is about 80 kilometers from Colombo. And this is a large area, 1,714 acres of land, which consists of water bodies, abandoned paddy fields, marshy lands. And we are looking for an investor who can make use of this unique environment to create one of the best products in Asia. I think we are looking at an investment of about US $500 million. We assume that this investment can generate employment closer to about 8,000 people. And the important thing here is it has waterways that can be connected to the Madhuganga, which is one of the key attractions about 20 kilometers away from the Dedduwa area. And also Sri Lanka Tourism is working on getting a sea access connection both by road and by water, so that this particular inland lake resort can be connected to the sea waters. That will help in future with the yacht tourism and other related activities. So we are interested in a single investor for this particular project or a consortium of investors for the simple reason you need to work around on an integrated project, understanding the various structures and the water bodies and the marshy lands. Everything will have to be blended into the product that you're going to offer. So this is on left, what you see is some of the key attractions that you can see in and around the Deddu area. There is the famous architect Jeffrey Bawa's house. Then also we have the lighthouse in Beruwala. So all these are attractions which are very much closer to the nature, and on the right side what we have shown is the existing environment of the Deddu. So it's a large project, but with an ambitious plan. It has got all the features of converting that in one of the best resorts in the whole of Asia. So if I just quickly take you through the process of how you can work with Sri Lanka Tourism, you need to submit a proposal which gives you a unique idea with financial and marketing plans. Then that project will be evaluated by a special team, and if approved, we will take you through the necessary approvals, and if it is approved, you will come into an agreement with Sri Lanka Tourism to lease out the property for initially for 30 years with the provision to extend it for further 30 years. And then once it's leased out, you will come to the investor relations unit, and we will help you through your process until the product is ready for commercial operations. So in the last slide, we have given 2 sets of contact details. In yellow color, what you see is if you want to submit a proposal, you can directly send it to the Secretary of the Tourism Ministry, or you can route it to the Director General of Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. If anyone wants more information about investment opportunities or procedures, you can contact any one of the details given there. We have also given the WhatsApp details, so it's easier for you to get in touch with us.
Thank you, Dr. Jayasuriya. With the limitation of time, we won't be able to answer individually the questions posed by the audience, but we will take those questions and will be in touch with you. And for anything, our team is ready to support you. Please do come and invest in Tourism Sri Lanka.
Yes, as Bhagya said, you can book one-to-one meeting with us if you want more information during the next 2 days.